People say 30s are the new 20s. Your 20s don't matter. You have plenty of time, so just enjoy your 20s and have fun. Wrong. While everyone is telling you to chill, research shows that 80% of life's most defining moments happens before the age of 35. This means right now. Right now, you're literally writing the script for your future life. And that's why in this video, I will tell you how you can make the most out of your 20s. Because here's the truth, nobody tells you. Your 20s are not about finding yourself, they're about building yourself. So keep watching, because trust me, your future self will thank you for having watched this video. A while ago, I read a book that absolutely changed my life and the way I see things. The book is The Defining Decade by Meg Jay, and I believe that every person in their 20s or approaching their 20s should read this book. Meg Jay is a clinical psychologist, and she argues that contrary to popular belief, your 20s are not a time to experiment, delay responsibilities and figure things out later. But actually, your 20s are critical years in shaping your future. This is because the choices that we make in our 20s have a huge impact on our career, health, and relationships. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the key messages of the book alongside some of my own insights as a psychologist to try to convince you that your 20s matter and to start acting like it. Of course, if you want a broader understanding of what Meg Jay is talking about, I strongly advise you to get the book, as in the book obviously she goes a little bit more in depth, as well as bringing case studies that I found very interesting. So definitely read the book. So if you're someone that thinks that your 20s are just a time to live without a plan, partying all the time because you can figure things out later, or if you are someone that is very focused on self-development, career, health, relationships, but you feel that everyone around you is doing the exact opposite as you're doing, and maybe you experience a little bit of FOMO because of this, then this video is for you. But first, in case you don't know me, hi, my name is Bri, I'm a pre-qualified psychologist, and in this channel we're all about using psychology and science-backed up tools to improve our life, support our well-being, and self-develop. So if that is something you want to do, you should stick around and subscribe. But now, without further ado, let's get into it. In talking about the main takeaways of the book, I'm going to focus on 3 life areas: health, work, and relationship. I believe that these are the most important areas of life and that we all should pay attention to and try to achieve balance between them to make sure that each of these 3 buckets, so health, work, and relationships, are always full and that none of them is filled more than the other one. We're gonna start with health because as Maslow's hierarchy of needs taught us, our physiological needs, i.e. our health, are the foundation of our life. Without our health, we won't be able to do much else. We won't be able to achieve our goals, we won't be able to be present in our relationship if we don't take care of our health. Despite this, many people in their 20s don't really take their health seriously. Probably because most of us see things like death or illness as far away, because obviously we are young. Meg Jay in particular says that people in their 20s sometimes suffer from what is called the present bias, so the tendency to prioritize immediate gratification over long-term well-being. However, we need to remember that things like decline in our metabolism, or muscle mass, or skin elasticity start in our 20s, so we really need to take care of them now. Many people in their 20s, or as Meg Jay called them, 20-somethings, neglect things like sleep, nutrition, and exercise because they don't see the immediate negative effects of it. However, all the things that we do now, positive or negative, will obviously compound, and we're gonna start seeing the benefits or the damage later in life. The good news is our brain is still developing in our 20s, so that means that any new habit we form will likely stay with us for our entire life. And this is good news if we think about the positive habits, but we also need to think about the negative habits. All the negative habits that you form now will also stay with you for your entire life. So you really need to assess what habits you implement in your everyday life life and start reducing the negative one whilst increasing the positive ones. We also need to consider the strong link that exists between physical and mental health. Poor sleep, junk food, lack of exercise have been linked with increased anxiety, depression, and stress. Also, poor self-care has been found to also be linked with burnout. And as we know in this channel, mental health is also health. We need to think about how all of the things that we do in our life impact our well-being as a whole, because we might not necessarily see the negative effects of it now, but very soon we will start to see them. So act now so that you don't regret it later. Start from the basic. Get enough sleep, drink enough water, exercise, and eat nutritious food. Drinking alcohol every weekend, smoking, surviving on caffeine, eating junk food may not seem like a big deal now, but trust me, its effects are gonna compound later in life. So just to give you a little bit of a to-do list or action points to bring with you from this section. Firstly, obviously your energy level won't be the same every single day. So you need to start thinking about how you can be consistent rather than doing everything perfectly. You won't be able to do one 45-minute workout every single day. But what you can do is introduce a form of exercise in your daily routine every single day. So if it's not a 45 minutes weightlifting session, you can go for a walk or you can do a 10-minute stretch. Focus on being consistent and doing a little bit every day. Same thing with food. You can't obviously eat healthy all the time, but if you focus on eating healthily 80% of the time, then that 20% won't have such a big impact. Of course. Second action point is treat sleep like an investment. Your sleep is important. Honestly, sleeping 5 hours a night is not cool anymore. I mean, I don't know if it ever was cool. I remember that a while ago there was this romanticizing sleeping 3 to 4 hours every night, which, yeah, really bad times. It literally gives me the ick now. You need to sleep 7 to 8 hours every night, and that is like a non-negotiable. Of course, things happen and it will happen from occasions that you will sleep less, but that needs to be the exception rather than the rule. And finally, focus on managing your stress and think about introducing into your life some activities that can improve not only your physical but also your mental well-being, such as meditation, journaling, and also therapy if you can afford that. Please remember that the habits that you're forming now will stay with you for your entire life. The second pillar that we're going to cover is work. And according to Meg Jay, your 20s are the most important time in your career. However, many people treat their 20s as an extension of adolescence, assuming that they have time to figure things out later. However, as for health, even for work, the decision that you make now will compound later on. And your career trajectory is likely going to be shaped by the things that you do or don't do in this decade of your life. Many people in their 20s find themselves into dead-end jobs where there is no prospect of building like an actual career later on, with the idea that they need to find their passion and they need to find what they truly want to do with their life before taking action. But actually, what Meg Jay says in the book is that experience rather than time creates clarity. If you're not sure about what you want to do with your life, which is perfectly fine in your 20s, you need to try things out and see what works and doesn't work for you. Avoiding career decision now will make it harder for you to build skills and credibility for later on in your life. If you drift in your 20s, you might reach your 30s with limited skills, connections, and career momentum. Don't wait to find your passion. Start somewhere, and that will definitely help you clarify what you want to do with your life. I feel like I can really resonate with this because what I found, of course, in the UK compared to Italy, people start working much earlier. That is because in Italy, the university years tends to be much longer, and people won't really start to work until their late 20s. And I've always found this a little bit concerning, because part of the reason why I am sure about what I want to do now with my life is because I started to work and I gained a sense of what I liked, what I didn't like, and what I actually wanted to do with my life. The problem if you start working very late is that what happens if you realize in your 30s that the career you have been working on basically for like 10-15 years is not your true passion. You don't like it. Of course, we are all normalizing changing careers later on in life. That is perfectly fine to do. However, it is more difficult, and people that had a change of career later on in life, I think they can testify that your 30s are generally a time where you have more responsibility. Some people will have families to account for, like children. Other people will have mortgages, parents that are getting older. So of course, it is feasible to have a change of career later on in life, but at the same time, it is definitely more difficult. And one way to avoid having a late change of career is to try out things that you might like during your 20s. And if you understand that you really like that and you want to continue, that's great. But it can happen that you realize that maybe what you were working towards is not truly your passion, and that means that you will need to find something else. Also, expand your network. Try not to find jobs within like your close circle of friends. What Meg Jay says in the book is that the best opportunities are usually found through acquaintances and on platforms such as LinkedIn. Also, think about how you can develop your skills, because your 20s should be about accumulating the skills and experiences that will open doors for the future. So invest your time in a job where you can keep learning and develop. If you find that at your current job you're not really learning anything new, then maybe it's time to move on or to get a promotion. Remember that every job that you take should add to your career story. So you are collecting skills, not only paychecks. Just remember that your future self will thank you for investing your time in your career in your 20s. So just a few action points from this section as well. Number one is stop waiting for clarity. Take action. Any action, even if it's something that you know is not properly the right fit for you. Try it out, see what you like and see what you don't like about that job. That helps you gaining clarity on what you want your future life to be. Something that I found out for myself, for example, is that I like the idea of having freedom. I like the idea of doing with my time what I want. And before I started working, I didn't know this. I didn't know that that was what I wanted from my life. If I had waited for clarity and to find my true passion, I would have never gotten to that conclusion. Second key point is network strategically. Look for Facebook groups, connect with people on LinkedIn, and look for job opportunities through your acquaintances. Expand your network, don't just limit it to your friends. Third key point is to build your skill set. Make sure that you're always gaining experiences. Invest in courses or try to get jobs that want you to improve your skills and are happy to fund you courses. If that is not the case for your job, then I think it's time to find a new job. Your main objective for your 20s needs to be gaining as many skills as possible. And finally, treat your 20s as an investment, not a waiting period. And finally, the last section is relationship, although we're gonna focus mainly on love. Meg Jay says that many 20-somethings assume that they should just have fun and figure out love later. However, research shows that your 20s set the foundation for your long-term romantic happiness. If you often find yourselves in situationships rather than relationships, then think about what actions you can take to change that. Because in order to develop as a romantic partner and to understand what you want in a relationship, you need to be in a relationship. That doesn't mean that you need to be in your endgame relationship, because even when relationship failed, you would have learned so much about you, about your attachment styles, but also about what you actually want from your love life. Also, situationships are low vibe, and And in general, mediocre relationships can drain your confidence, delaying your personal growth. If a relationship is not helping you grow, then it is holding you back. Also, if you allow yourself to be with a low-value person, you yourself will become a low-value individual. High-value people are with high-value people, and if you want to be a high-value person, start acting like it and make sure your relationships reflect this. Also, remember that who you marry affects every aspect of your life. Happiness, finances, parenting, and even health. Research shows that the person we are during our late 20s is likely going to be the person that we are going to marry. So, during your 20s, choose your partners wisely and start seeing them as long-term partners, not as someone you're just hanging out with to see how things go and figure things out later. So, just a few takeaways from this section as well. The first one, don't waste your time in relationships that aren't going anywhere. If your gut says it's wrong, listen to it, because it probably is. Be intentional about who you date. Your future family starts with who you're dating now. And even if a relationship doesn't go well, make sure that you can take some lessons from it about yourself, about your attachment style, and about the kind of partner that you want for the future. Don't drift into major life decisions unconsciously. Make choices such as living together, getting married, and God forbid, having children consciously and intentionally. And finally, remember that love should help you grow, not hold you back. And this brings us to the end of the video. Please let me know in the comment if you really value your 20s and are trying to make the most out of them, or if you're one of those people that feel they can figure things out later. And if that is the case, let me know if I changed your mind. In the description box below, you will find amazing things such as my socials. I would love it if you could follow me on Instagram, but you will also find the link to my website and to subscribe to my free newsletter in case you want to hear from me more often. If you want to support this channel, in the description box, you will also find a link to buy me a digital coffee that will support the channel and allow me to keep making free contents for everyone. And finally, you will also find the links for my two planners. One is an all-in-one planner that basically allows you to organize all aspects of your life, from your personal life, your work, and your health, so that you can really make the most out of your 20s. Or if you want to achieve your goals whilst having a little bit more fun, you will also find my Gamify Your Life planner that basically allows you to turn your life into a game. More on that on this video here. If you like this video, you might also like my video on how to truly love yourself, which, by the way, you guys loved, so thank you so much. If you haven't seen that, I will see you over there, or I will see you in the next video. Bye!